Despite billions of dollars spent by countless NGOs and government agencies to bring clean water to the world, nearly half of the world's population is still experiencing water scarcity. The technology to find, capture, and filter water is continually advancing, but how can we make sure that this technology is reaching those who need it? I'm Nicole Iman, co-founder of Every Shelter. We're a new nonprofit with the mission to relieve suffering and grow resiliency for those displaced by war, persecution, and disaster through the design, creation, and delivery of shelter products. In our organization's short history, we've already designed and delivered our insulated emergency floor to provide warmth to more than 10,000 displaced people. We're here to innovate and co-create new solutions with and for displaced people, and we have an idea for how to identify some regions of water scarcity. The World Bank has an extensive database tracking rainfall and water quality in each geographic region around the world. When studying this database and comparing it to resources on water scarcity, we found that many countries experiencing scarcity could easily be overlooked because they also rank as countries receiving some of the highest amounts of rainfall per year globally. How can that be? Because heavy rainfall is concentrated into one short season, and the rest of the year is marked by drought. The problem here is not that water isn't reaching these locations at all, but that there is no infrastructure for collection and storage of large amounts of water during the rainy season. Many homes in these regions don't have access to water, but they do have access to two other critical items that can help us solve this problem. They have a roof and a cell phone. What do these have in common? First, roofs. In these regions, when the rain comes, people scramble to collect as much water as possible, but a few jerry cans or buckets per family won't last more than a couple of days. But by building a simple rooftop water catchment system with the right size of cistern, we can provide a family a year-round water supply. Every Shelter has researched and designed a specialized cistern built using interlocking stabilized soil bricks that has potential of not only helping alleviate water scarcity issues in the short term, but also employing the local population and developing a sector of trained specialists with the skills and resources to offer this water access solution throughout the region. Use of ISSBs is better for the environment than traditional brick, and it comes with the added benefit of potential carbon offset credit funding sources. Even if we have this technology for water catchment, how do we know precisely where it is most needed? We begin with the rainfall data from the World Bank. We then build a platform to digitize and cross-analyze World Bank's data with GIS mapping of infrastructure to pinpoint geographic regions of the world that are most at risk of having limited infrastructure for their seasonally heavy rainfall. But this still leaves large swaths of land in the risk area. How do we know which communities and households in that region to target? This brings us to the second component, mobile phones. Just like roofs, mobile phones are abundant even in some of the most remote areas. In partnership with local telecom providers, we can call a random sampling of phone numbers connected to towers within the target areas to survey users regarding their access to clean water. This method allows for real-time need verification from residents, and it shifts power back into the hands of the people themselves, giving them an opportunity to voice their needs and concerns that can be then incorporated into the database. Why use phone calls instead of an app or a social network? Aren't smartphones the way of the future? Well, even though smartphone use is growing, Pew Research reports that only 60% of all mobile phone users actually have smartphones. We hypothesize that much of the population most in need of water infrastructure support will likely fall into that 40% who don't have smartphones. A phone call can reach any type of phone and is not dependent upon literacy. If we want to truly target the most isolated populations that are easy to miss using traditional identification methods, we need to make access as wide as possible. The end result is a large database that we can use to find target populations for our own water capture and cistern technology and to make freely available to organizations like UAE Water Aid, so that working together, we can achieve the goal of bringing clean, reliable water access to the world.